People, Deluded, I'm back again. Good morning, I hope you're doing well. As you already know, the Under-21s Championships has started and it's a good chance for us to run the rule over Nelson and the rest of the homegrown lads. You see in Spain with a strong side. Obviously, the man in question, Krystian Bielik, is playing there. We know it's an interesting season for him. He's off the back of having a great season in League One. I feel he's ready to be given a chance. I feel, and I'll get onto it, and I keep saying he's rough around several edges, and we need to be prepared that he has a mistake in his game. But I can't see what else he can do to get a chance with Gooner. Emery. He's had a good loan spell. It's only the first game, but you saw Poland against Belgium 3-2. I think although I wouldn't say he's the only one at fault, I feel he personally switched off for the first goal. I think he had a terrific game. He obviously scored a thundering header, and I think he was involved in the build-up to the corner, which led to his header. You saw him bring the ball out of defence as well, many times, gracious passes. For me, he probably needs to find balance around that because, again, this is my example, people. But you saw on several occasions he picked up the ball and he needed no licence to run forward and things like that. That's obviously great, and we need someone that's composed, and I relish that if he can find passes. But you've also got to remember, people, there's a gap here that's been left. Obviously, if you leave that gap, that can be exploited in the Prem. And I have seen the bits and bobs of that very same thing at Charlton for him. Like I said, he's a young player, and I don't know what much more he can do to warrant a knocking. The only thing that goes against him is that we've got a lot of young centre-halves. But I feel he's got 2 years left on his deal. If nothing worse, he's putting himself in the shop window if he keeps performing like that. He played on the left-hand side of the centre-half pairing as well, and he was composed. Good tackles, good shepherding the ball out of play, winning smart fouls. Like I said, bringing the ball out from the back, he did quite well. He scored in the first half as well. Poland actually came from behind to beat Belgium, so he had a good game for me, anyways. Personally speaking, man, I think he's there's not much he can't do. There's not much more he can do, in my opinion, to get an opportunity. People, the only thing going against him is an inexperience in the Premier League. Not just him, Mavropanos, and any young centre half, even Calabria, if we brought him, they're still young and naive. There'll be times they lose their runners. There'll be times they miss time headers. There'll be times they'll step out of defence and they'll be exploited. But I think he deserves a chance. He can play on the left-hand side of the centre-half pairing, which, if you really want to be specific, that's specifically where some of our issues lie. We know we just need better defenders, but that's where a lot of our issues lie. He's obviously can play in midfield, and like I said, you see the composing roles. He can play 3 at the back, 4 at the back. Like I said, man, I can't understand how he hasn't got a chance. He's got 2 years left on his deal. If we believe the club about within the last 2 years of a player's deal, you need to know what they're doing, then a decision this summer is due, whether that's extending his contract, whether that's selling him permanently, whether that's a new deal and going back out on loan somewhere. Because I do believe, I want to see him at my club and get chances, because I believe he can be used in a variety of ways. But I would like to also see him, if not that, a top loan spell in a top division. I think he did well at Birmingham before his injury. He's done his thing at Charlton. The only poor loan spell he had was Warsaw, where he rushed himself, went there and got injured. Seeing him in the top division week in, week out, it'd be good. I always say to you lot, people, he's learned a lot playing for Charlton and getting promoted, but he's got to learn to play against street smart strikers. People will see the names of players and dismiss them, but you want him to play against guys like Glenn Murray, Llorente, obviously the typical Vardys and Agueros, Dini, because what have I just said there, people? There's people like Llorente, which is a physical handful. If you remember him even against Delight in the Champions League, physical handful. You've got Glenn Murray, that's a street smart striker. Sergio Aguero's your Sergio. Vardy won't give you a sniff. There's other strikers, obviously, that are not in the game for 89 minutes. You like Hernandez, for example, you take your eyes off them, and that 90th minute they've scored the winner. So these little things is where he will probably come unstuck and the fine margins. But I'm prepared to allow him the room to make these mistakes, and I think he's got the mentality to cope. Again, this is not me not wanting him to play. You just need to remember these are young players, people. Specific for the goal that one of the goals they conceded, I think even Bielik said he could have done better. But again, obviously it's not to scale, people. And it wasn't just him, but just focusing on Bielik, because he's not the only one we care about, but he's our man, people. Ball came in from here, people, in behind to the far post. The run was here. Now, if you watch Bielik actually loses his man. Like, the toughest thing is to watch your man and watch play. Bielik loses his man and he darts to the far post. Again, not to scale. Near post, sorry, people. And he puts it in. Do you see what I'm saying? He had a good game, but that's the fine margins. If that's the Premier League, some people are only going to remember that. So like I said, it's for him, it's about refining his game now and just just being switched on all the time. And to a degree, these sort of things you can't improve without experience, without getting games. And he's taking a step in the right direction. So I'm happy to see him again. It's the first game, so we can't draw too many conclusions. But obviously, we want our boys to go as far as they possibly can. I think he's actually had some comments. And again, this is courtesy of Google Translate, so if it doesn't make sense, don't shoot the messenger. But he said, I had a few good passes, but in defence I have to improve. We have to play better in the next match as a team. We have less than 3 days to prepare for the Italians. I played well at centre-half. If I did not make a mistake, I know when I played a good game and when I was weak. I played a great game today until the 70th minute and the 84th minute. Is a small diamond chip in the cog or something like that. That's what it translated to. So yeah, obviously they conceded 2 goals and he probably could have done better for the second one. That's what I like to see about him. He's got the mentality for it. He relishes it. I remember seeing one of his posts years ago. He was like, the goal is simple to be Arsenal captain or something. And I think he just strikes you as someone that's very switched on, that can deal with the temperament and the pressure. And that's more than you can say for some of his experienced players. Like I said, people, amazing runs, confident runs, some lovely highlights in throughout the whole game of his passing, of his range of passing, some good challenges. There was one, like a striker actually moved this left back for a sec. The striker was down here, people. Bielik just got his body in front and won the foul. Smart little things like that. I like his temperament. It's just about refining him now, cutting out the obvious mistakes which will happen. I believe he should be given a chance. But it's down for the club, his agent and Bielik to sit down, because he's 22 in January. Can't go back to playing 23s after starting off this tournament well off the back of a great season for Charlton. He needs to be given a chance, given a top division loan spell, or sold permanently to a club which believe in him and will allow him the scope to grow. Personally, if he's not at Arsenal, if I was his agent, I think he would do well in Germany on loan, man. And to be fair, he'd do well in Spain as well because of his ball playing ability. But I've got nothing more to personally add on that, man. You lot know Nelson plays on Tuesday against the French, where Guendouzi and Jeff, our former player, will be in action. So I'll be there, obviously, to speak about that and things like that. And I'll be providing these scouting videos when I can, people. On that note, I'm going to get out of here, though. So, people, stay safe. Deluded. I'm out.